Hey everybody. It's been a minute. I kind of got sick of getting spammed on Instagram, so I took a little bit of a break from posting videos. Um, but because I constantly get spammed on Instagram, it actually reminded me of things that take up space in my brain, part 21. So, I periodically, quite frequently, about once a week at least, will get a message from somebody on Instagram that says something to the effect of, hey, and it will be immediately after this person follows me. And so I will just say, hey, thanks for the like. And I just kind of leave it at that. Occasionally they'll say something like this guy did, which was like, thanks, have a nice day. And I was like, okay, maybe he's an actual human being, not a spammer. I mean, spammers are human beings, but I mean a decent human being. And so I was like, thanks, you too. Left it at that. No intention of ever talking to him again. I didn't actually ever talk to him again. But he wanted to talk. And so every morning, way before I got up, he'd be like, hey, how's your day? Good morning. Hi, how are you? And he'd message me like 2 or 3 times a day. And of course, that's how you know somebody's a spammer. And I just ignore him. If I saw something in my inbox, I'd click on it and then back out of it just to get the notification gone. And the last message he sent me caught my attention. That's what reminded me of this story. The last message that this man sent me was, oh, I see how you really are. I'm black and that's why you won't talk to me. You're a racist. And then something else after that, I don't remember. And I was just kind of like, his picture, like profile picture, is of like flowers or some plant. I have no idea what race this man. I don't even know if this person is a man, let's just be honest, let alone their race. So it reminded me of a time someone called my sister a racist. We went to this church. We had it was kind of a long backstory of how we wound up at this church, but like we had gone to this church before and we had gone to a different church and come back to this church, and my parents hated the situations because my parents are like, we're not church hoppers, like you go with a church and you stick there. But there had been some things that had happened with a church that my parents disagreed with, and so we wound up coming back to this one. And at the time they were in between pastors, and so we had several different pastors during that time, which was fine, whatever. And one of the pastors was from a different country, and he made a rule which now, as an adult, I actually can appreciate. And I'm like, actually, he had a valid reason behind it. And I think it was great. But it very much upset my sister. And so the following general conversation kind of happened where he pulled her aside and let her know, or I don't think he even pulled her aside. Maybe he made like an announcement in church or something and she pulled him aside to talk about it later. But one way or another, he came up with this new rule that the people who were looking after the kids and doing children's church were going to be rotating, because it had been just my sister for a couple of years at that point. My sister loved doing it, was never a problem for her, but he was like, well, we want the person out in the actual service as well. Great rule, honestly. Spot on. I think that was fantastic that he did that. And so it was going to be like only once a month or every other week or something like that she would teach, and then the other one. And I remember she was emotional about it because she had been in charge of it for a while, and she was just crying, and she was kind of like, I don't understand where this is coming from, like, trying to kind of get some more information. And looking back, I think he felt challenged by her. Not in the sense of like that she was, trying to take his spot, but just that she was challenging his authority, and which is valid. And B, I think he maybe just used the wrong word or didn't communicate very well what he felt. But she was trying, looking back, she was trying to get clarification on why he was switching it. And I think possibly maybe it was like insecurities of like, am I not good enough? Did I do something wrong? I love doing this. Please don't take this away from me. One of those types of, and she was a teenager. So, I mean, all teenagers have those moments. All adults have those moments. But anyways, so he, at one point, she's like, I don't understand. And he just kind of cut her off, and he got very, very aggressive and was just like, I can't even remember what he said before this point, but he said something, and then he said, "You're just being a racist." And I remember my sister and I both just sat there and we were like, eh? Like, just jaws dropped, like, the heck are you talking about, dude? And we both just kind of stuttered, and I didn't say anything because I didn't really have anything to do with this conversation. I had gone to find my sister for something, and I was just waiting for the conversation to end, and he just kind of stormed off. And he was very, I remember, for some reason, I don't really have vivid memories, but I remember that he was pretty hot-headed, which he's human. He's allowed to be, even though he's a pastor. But I just remember that to this day, where he called my sister a racist, and I think he probably just used the wrong word, because like I said, he was not American originally. And so, yeah, it just sticks with me to this day. I just remember him just being like, "You're a racist," and it was just one of those where it was like, I still wonder if she's ever told mom and dad about that. So I know my mom watches these videos. I'm curious if my sister ever told her that story. Anyways, we'll see how many of these videos I continue to make, or if my pages stay public, which really isn't going to affect anyone who does watch my videos, which pretty much is just my mother-in-law, my best friend, and my mom. I'm pretty sure that they're the only people that watch my videos. I think I have a couple other friends that maybe watch them, but yeah. Oh well, they're for fun. They're put out there, and spammer's gonna spam, and YouTube haters gonna hate, I guess, because, man, on YouTube all I get is hate comments, and on Instagram all I get is spam, and so far Facebook has been decent to me. We'll see if that continues. I don't know, maybe I'll just continue having my stuff stolen and getting spammed and hated on, and I'll just make all my accounts private and turn into a private hermit, and just my friends can hear these stories, no one else. No one. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for things that take up space in my brain, part 21. Remember that life is way too short not to share your stories, whether you choose to do it publicly or privately. And love you. Bye.